Imagine it's 1325, step into a world unlike ours. The sun rises over a busy English town, a new day begins, wood smoke fills the air, fires warm homes and cook meals. Bread bakes, livestock are close, people and animals live side by side. The blacksmith's hammer rings out, hard work shapes the town. A family gathers for a simple breakfast. Coarse bread and cheese are daily staples, mugs of cloudy beer are on every table. No one drinks water if they can help it. Clean water is rare and precious. Survival means avoiding unsafe water. Streets are muddy and full of waste. People and animals share close quarters. Every day is a struggle against hunger and disease. Beer is not a treat, it's essential. It fuels hard labor and daily life. When food is scarce, beer gives calories and strength. The diet is simple: dense bread, vegetables, and what they can grow. Meat is rare, saved for special days. Beer fills the gaps in their diet. It nourishes and helps them endure hard work. Beer protects against waterborne disease. Families share a mug, not for pleasure, but survival. Drinking beer is as vital as eating or sleeping. This ritual repeats across Europe, city and village alike. It's a story of survival and resourcefulness. Beer gives calories, vitamins, and energy. It shields them from sickness in a dangerous world. This simple act reveals medieval life. It shows the reality of their daily existence. In every home, tavern, and monastery, beer is a lifeline. Beer is a constant companion. It's not just a drink, it's much more. It's survival, plain and simple. Today we often take it for granted, but water truly means life. It's essential for our health, our well-being, and the very survival of our societies. We have clean water readily available at our fingertips. But rewind to the Middle Ages, and water often meant danger, a constant threat lurking beneath the surface. Towns had no sewers or treatment plants to purify their water sources. The concept of sanitation as we know it was virtually non-existent. Waste and garbage filled the streets, an unavoidable part of daily life. All that filth found its way into the rivers, everyone's main water source for drinking, cooking, and washing. People knew, even without the benefit of modern science and germ theory, that drinking the wrong water could make you incredibly sick, or even kill you. The consequences were often swift and devastating. Wells in the countryside weren't necessarily much safer havens. Often shallow, unprotected from the elements, and easily contaminated by nearby waste and animal runoff. Even seemingly clear streams could hide deadly bacteria and parasites, invisible threats lurking in the water. These contaminants could originate from upstream villages carelessly dumping waste, or even from the decaying bodies of dead animals. People learned to be incredibly cautious about where they sourced their water, relying on generations of accumulated knowledge and tradition to try and find safer sources, like distant springs far removed from settlements if they were lucky enough to have access to one. Monasteries, with their resources and planning, sometimes piped in clean water from distant sources, but for most common people, obtaining safe drinking water was a daily risk and a constant struggle. Waterborne illness, like dysentery and cholera, could sweep through and devastate entire communities, leaving a trail of sickness and death. Rainwater was collected and stored whenever possible, offering a temporary reprieve, but it simply wasn't a reliable or sufficient solution to meet the ongoing needs of the population. Faced with the unenviable choice between potentially deadly river water and boiled fermented beer, a beverage that had undergone a heating process, the answer for many was surprisingly obvious. Beer, or ale, was the safer bet, a practical, if not ideal, solution to a very deadly problem. Avoiding water wasn't a sign of ignorance or a lack of understanding. It was a calculated act of survival in a world where clean water was a precious and often unattainable commodity. Brewing beer turned risky water into a safe, nourishing drink thanks to boiling and fermentation. The process began with boiling water and barley to make wort, killing harmful bacteria. After cooling, wild yeast transformed the wort, creating alcohol and carbonation. Alcohol preserved the beer, keeping it safe longer than water. Malting, mashing, boiling, and fermenting each step made the drink safer and more nutritious. Spent grains fed animals. Nothing was wasted. Brewers were vital, their craft passed down through generations. With fire, grain, water, and yeast, medieval people created a daily staple. Beer was more than a drink, it was a pillar of survival. Beer was everywhere, at every meal, for every person, from nobles to peasants. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner all included beer, which provided vital calories and hydration. Even children drank small beer, very weak but boiled and safe. Monasteries brewed vast quantities, rationing stronger ale for abbots and guests, weaker for workers. Noble estates set aside barley for brewing, and beer was part of wages and hospitality. Taverns and alehouses were community hubs, but most beer was brewed and drunk at home. A steady supply of ale was as crucial as bread. Poor harvests threatened both food and liquid bread, risking health and morale. Beer was woven into daily life, economy, and social bonds. It was the drink that held communities together. Medieval ale was a world apart from today's beer. It wasn't the clear, crisp beverage we're accustomed to. Instead, it was something far more rustic and unpredictable. Think thick, often cloudy, naturally sweet, and notably flat. Carbonation was not a feature of medieval ale. The brewing process was also quite different. It was made without hops, relying instead on top-fermenting yeast strains, and it was very often flavored with groot, a mixture of herbs and spices like yarrow, bog myrtle, and other locally sourced botanicals. This meant each batch tasted distinctly different, heavily influenced by the brewer's skill and the available local ingredients. There were weak, small beers brewed for daily hydration, a staple for everyone, including children. Then there were standard ales, providing essential sustenance, often consumed with meals, and of course strong ales reserved for special occasions like feasts and celebrations. Serving strong ale was a clear sign of wealth, generosity, and hospitality. The strength and flavor of ale varied significantly depending on the region, the specific household brewing it, and even the season. Unlike today's standardized brews produced on a mass scale, medieval ale was a product deeply rooted and unique to each community. This incredible variety meant there was an ale perfectly suited for every purpose, whether it was hard work, a quiet family gathering, or a joyous celebration. Ale wasn't just a drink. It was the medieval answer to both simple thirst and grand festivity. Every mug held a different story, reflecting the unique character of its origin. Brewing was women's work. Every household had a brewster or alewife. Women managed the process, ensuring their family's health and sometimes selling surplus for income. Alewives hung a broom or greenery outside to signal fresh ale for sale, the first pubs. As towns grew, brewing became commercialized. Men formed guilds, pushing women out. The image of the alewife faded, replaced by the male brewer. Some say the witch stereotype, pointy hat, cauldron, broom, came from alewives. As men took over, propaganda painted female brewers as sinister. The shift from home to factory brewing changed society and gender roles. The story of beer is also a story of women's lost power. For centuries, beer was Europe's safest drink, but change was coming. Public sanitation improved. Cities built aqueducts and fountains, bringing clean water to more people. Water became safer, and beer's role shifted from necessity to recreation. Global trade brought coffee, tea, and chocolate, boiled drinks that offered new choices. Coffee houses rivaled taverns as social hubs. The decline of beer as a staple marked progress. Clean water was no longer rare. Science, like Pasteur's germ theory, explained why boiling worked, cementing sanitation's importance. Beer evolved, stronger, more varied, a craft and a pleasure. Its story is a testament to human ingenuity, turning danger into daily life and then into culture. From survival to celebration, beer's journey mirrors our own.